Hey Gooners, I'm Draco Self-Important, and I think you should listen to me. Today, you're gonna listen to me complain. What else is new? So, we're gonna talk about ContraPoints. Please never say that I am not fair in who I complain about, because I want to generally try to engage in some sort of constructive feedback, some sort of educational value, I don't know, something positive in the content. Sometimes the positive thing in the content is just me getting out my aggression, but in this particular case, um, yeah, this is, God, this is just so frustrating. This is, ContraPoints is a person who is known as like a prominent figure in the online left, whatever the fuck that is, as well as in BreadTube, whatever the fuck that is at this point. Um, Tabernacle just made a couple of videos about BreadTube being dead. The second one referring directly to this ContraPoints situation we are about to address. Um, uh, Vosh and Hassan both addressed this in a way that was shockingly similar. Um, Vosh, of course, with a little more armchair psychology about Natalie's, motivations, which I'm probably going to get into some of that as well. But Hassan, just as a fellow content creator in the space who respects work that she's made. And I mean, that's what this comes down to for me, is I have on more than one occasion in previous videos said like, hey, ContraPoint said this or Contra, because she's made some fantastic videos that make some really complex topics really approachable and, add some entertainment value and are engaging and like that's good. There's value to that. Um, but she has not said a whole lot in regard to the Israel-Palestine thing, which, to be fair, a lot of us are just kind of waking up to this shit. I was not super aware of the, like, depths of the conflict that have been going on for, decades and decades. Um, the the reaction, let's call it that, that Israel has had to the attacks on October 7th have just done oh so much to really shine a light on how horrifying their treatment of the Palestinian people has been for a very long time. And they're just saying out loud at this point that it's a genocide. And I've been talking about this shit for months, if not years, year-ish, I don't know, depending on, how far back you go into my content. It was over a year ago that I went and did the mosque visit. I've been trying to fight against Islamophobia, and anti-Semitism, quite frankly, because I don't think that any religion can be quantified by any one set of ideals, especially when we're talking about some of the largest religions in the world, right? And this idea that all Jewish people feel the same way about this topic, kind of cringe. Not at all based. This is not based in fact, in fact. That's how not based it is. It's bullshit. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Um, you know, I'm going to respect the opinions of the very loud and public, peace-loving, Palestine-supporting Jews out there who are saying that the Israeli government and the people interviewed on the street in Israel are not representative of, the Jewish panacea, if you will. This is not, I'm sorry, man, that's just not how it is. Much in the same way that Saudi Arabia is not representative of all of Islam, right? That's not how this shit works. It's just not. Uh, when we're talking about, religions, in the case of Judaism, millions of people, in the case of Islam, billions of fucking people that are practicing these religions, that there are so many different, like, oh gosh, the pillars of Islam. There isn't even agreement on how many pillars there are. Depending on which sect of Islam you're looking into, it's five or seven, I believe. I don't know. I'm still um, that is still a religion that I'm not as familiar with as the other two Abrahamic religions. Obviously, my familiarity with Christianity, as someone raised in the United States, as ostensibly a Christian, my family was like, the most Christian in name only, kind of, but whatever. My mother said I was baptized just in case, if that gives you any kind of indication. And also they're Catholics, so you want to talk about religions that are, wow, just gross at the core of the leadership. Hey, let's talk about Catholicism. Because if we're talking about Catholicism, there is a very clear chain of command and leadership that has a documented history over decades, maybe centuries, who the fuck knows, of shipping around priests and cardinals and bishops and other clergymen who, do some pretty horrible things to children. There are people in my, like, sphere of, you know, family adjacent people, etc., that have had this shit happen to them. So, like, I don't know, man. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Any religion is just a tool and can be used for good, it can be used for bad, it can be used for the fucking mediocre. It's it's like a fucking hammer, man. You can build the most beautiful temple, you can build a shitty fucking birdhouse for your mom for fucking Mother's Day, or you can bash someone's fucking head in. It's the same hammer. The hammer's not the problem. It's the intention, right? It's whether or not you see the person on the receiving end of whatever you're doing with that hammer as a human being. That's that's what it comes down to. Um, and from what I have seen, the loudest members of the Israeli population don't seem to think that Palestinians are human. And there are a lot of Zionists in this country, and let me reiterate, when I speak of Zionists, I am predominantly speaking of Christians when I am talking about Americans, because there are not that many fucking Jewish people as compared to Christians in the United States, period, let alone the numbers of Zionists. Because, again, there are lots and lots of very loud, open, activist Jewish people who are very much pro Palestine and very much against the genocide that Israel is perpetrating, and out call themselves anti Zionist. So I am not going to live in the delusion that any religion is one, that you can nail any religion of that size down to a particular ideology, because then we constantly get into my favorite, the no true Scotsman fallacy, where everyone starts to debate with everyone else about whether or not that person actually is that religion, and who gets to claim that they're that religion and who doesn't, and blah, 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 blah. And you get down to the Abrahamic religions of it all, and you will have Christians look you dead in the eye and say that the God that is Allah, that is, the Islamic God, is not their God, is not the Jewish God, as if the stories and the history and the region, and like, if any of this shit is true, it's the same fucking guy. Like, I'm sorry, as an outsider looking in, it's the same dude. So like, I have digressed a lot. Welcome, this is what I fucking do. But in particular, I have kind of a vested interest in, the leftist space online and the trans leftist space online, which obviously there's a lot of overlap there. Although there definitely are trans people who are nowhere near the left. Hi, Buck Angel, looking at you, Tranpa. um, Lots of grifters out there willing to sell us all out. ContraPoints has never struck me as that person. Um, Natalie, Natalie Wynn is her name. Has the content that she produces whatever, is like impeccable. But some of her social media, not that YouTube isn't social media, but her tweets, as it were. Um, Wow, wowie zowie. Lots of posted in haste and deleted as if the internet hasn't captured it and spread it everywhere, and there aren't like 47 videos about it. Anyway, the moment you delete some shit like that is the moment you have admitted your failure. If you don't accompany the deletion with some shit, like um, to be fair, this the post that we are going to discuss has not been deleted. We are reading this directly from ContraPoints user account on Reddit. Um, and she does explain why it is posted. If those of you who are my studious little students today, who have read ahead, because this has been on the screen the whole time, have already seen her explanation of why this is on Reddit. But we're gonna read this, and I'm going to stop as we go along to bitch, and to explain to you all of the ways that she is fucking factually wrong, as well as the ways that I think that she is morally wrong, and the ways that she's a fucking coward. And, might sprinkle in some other adjectives as well. And I come at this with this level of vitriol because you didn't need to say this. You could have kept your mouth shut. And that has been the general consensus from everyone, was, sweet baby girl, you have kept your mouth shut for 2 fucking years, and when you finally decided to open it, this is what we get. So, let's break down what Ms. Wynn has to say. So, again, this is her official, actual user account on Reddit, posted 2 days ago. It is my time, which is Pacific, mind you. It is July 11th, 11:20 p.m. I'm not translating that into a 24-hour clock right now because I'm at 23:20, isn't it? Right? Yeah, whatever. Working in the medical field has made that not so difficult for my stupid autistic brain anymore. Anyway, we have thought on I/P. Already off to a great start. Can't even actually use the words that we're talking about here. Fantastic. Uh, I'm posting this to Reddit instead of Twitter, hopefully to minimize fragments being clipped out of context. Sincerest apologies to the mods. Cool. Whatever. Oh, I'm clicking on fully the wrong window. Here we go. So many. I may stumble over her punctuation here, but I'm going to do my best to read this in the style of ContraPoints, because I've watched, I think, literally all of her videos, and, so I think that I can try to approximate the cadence. I'm feeling pretty pissy right now, so it's probably a little sassier than she would actually deliver this, but I don't know because, she's been known to be a sass pants, as it were. Um, However, so many leftists feel betrayed because I haven't made a video on Palestine. Do they actually want a ContraPoints video about Palestine? Will they be happy if I get in the bath and pour milk on a mannequin of Benjamin Netanyahu? No. I've posted about Gaza occasionally and have quietly given money to Palestine aid organizations, but I think what leftists really want is for me to join their chorus of anger. They sense some hesitation on my part and are judging me very harshly on my presumed opinions. I'd rather be judged on my actual opinions, so here they are. So here's the thing, friend. Um, Me personally, just as the person reacting to this, I did not expect a ContraPoints video on Palestine any more than I expect a ContraPoints video on anything in particular. You tend to make what you make. Like, much in the same way that, like, an H Bomber guy or an Eye Patch Wolf will give you, months in between content. Like, I don't necessarily expect something that could be a current event. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's just not something that I necessarily expected. Would I have liked to have seen something? Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Like, this idea that you can't cover serious topics that involve people dying in the way that you do videos, as if, hi, hello, don't you talk about a lot of trans shit? That's often been related to, genocide as well, right? In a way that I do not think is anywhere near as literal, but still factual, if that makes sense. Um, because I do think that I do think that they are trying to eliminate us, trans people, on the whole. Like, I think that that is factually true. Um, but they're not, like, literally murdering us dozens at a time, day over day, out in public with bombs, right? Like, it's a different situation, which is, why I get so fucking resentful of people who want to pinkwash this shit and want to be like, yeah, well, if you were there, they'd throw you off a building. That's not the fucking point, dude. Like, right now in this country, there's a lot of trans shit going on, and I really don't fucking enjoy it. But on the other hand, they're blackbagging people in the streets, and they're taking away people's citizenship. And what bathroom I can piss in is really not going to be of consequence to me if I get shipped to a country I've never fucking been to, let alone am not from, and put into a prison that one guy has come back from. Otherwise, you go there until you die, or into the fucking alligator Auschwitz in fucking Florida, right? So, the trans shit, right? The fact that Linda McMahon got on fucking television to tell us that they were really invested in protecting girls and women, while about California and having girls in sports shit, trans girls in sports, um, fucking that's their interest. Meanwhile, there's no Epstein list. Yeah, of course there's a fucking list. There may not have been a he actually wrote it all down, but we all fucking know that there was surveillance all over every fucking place that that dude owned or rented or whatever. There's video of everyone everywhere. We get it. It was a government blackmail operation. Like, you just can't say it while a lot of these people are still fucking alive. And the way that you're going about this cover up is fucking transparent as fucking saran wrap, and I think that we all know it. And it's a fucking shame because it just proves to me yet again that we do not give a shit about children in this country. We do not give a shit about women in this country. Look at what the fuck is happening with abortion rights. Like, don't fucking come at me with the. Yeah, we also don't fucking give a shit on the broader governmental scale about fucking Jewish people either, or about anti-Semitism, other than to weaponize it in order to quell free speech. But we'll get more into that bullshit in a moment. Um, so, from my own perspective, I was not sitting around going, hey, why hasn't ContraPoints made a video on this shit yet? I, was thinking like, hey, why hasn't ContraPoints made a video in a minute? Because I enjoy the videos, but like, it really, in ContraPoints timelines, has not been that fucking long. So, you know, let's continue. Is Israel committing genocide in Gaza? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Do I feel angry about it? Yes. I also feel a lot of other things. And then she goes on to title this shit and lay it all out like a goddamn outline for one of her videos. So, Natalie, why didn't you just make the fucking video? Right? Maybe you could make something with a serious fucking tone that didn't have a joke every 3 fucking seconds. I'm a funny haha guy just as much as the next, but, ma'am, so you're gonna lay this out in exactly the same structure on fucking Reddit, which, fine, put it on Reddit, it'll all get, but like, isn't there Twitlonger or some shit? Like, isn't there a place that is meant to do this that isn't fucking this? I don't know, man. Doesn't Blue Sky let you fucking link to some shit or something? I don't know. I just feel like, you know, to give me the fucking video outline layout and then talk about how we didn't really want you to make it. No, we didn't want you in a fucking tub pouring milk on a mannequin of Netanyahu. No, that's not what anyone expected. But if you were going to do something, fucking put your chest into it, woman. Like, hello? Can you but I think that calling you a leftist, and this is where I get into my own personal hypocrisy. I think calling you a leftist is a far fucking cry. I think you're a fucking lib, because here I go, no true Scotsmaning, but this is not leftist behavior, friend. This is some lib shit. But we'll go on. 1. Doom. The week after October 7th, it was clear the mood among Israeli leaders and civilians was overwhelmingly kill or be killed, existential panic, and unstoppable lust for revenge. It reminded me of the U.S. after 9/11. There was no reasoning or protesting them out of it, nor was it politically feasible for the U.S. to withdraw aid to Israel on a time frame that would make a difference. One phone call. And I've said this before, and it's been said by others. One fucking phone call. Biden could have made one phone call and said, you need to cut the fucking shit, or we're not sending you replenishments for the Iron Dome. And then good fucking luck, BB. One phone call. So fucking stupid to think that we, as the United fucking States of America, although at this point our reputation is just getting trashed, boom, 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 day by day, but at the point that this shit was going on back October 7th, fucking nearly 2 years ago, yeah, one fucking phone call. One. So, no. Complete fucking bullshit. Lib shit. Bullshit. I digress. Time frame that would have made a difference. It would have required replacing most of Congress and overturning decades of bipartisan strategy and diplomacy. Even in the best case scenario, it would have taken years, so there was a sense of futility. But worse, one phone call would have taken one phone call. Like you vastly underestimate the direct control that the United States and the president of the United States specifically has on this situation. Like there's a real give and take between the United States and Israel, and it's because Israel is the US military base and pipeline to trade and oil. It's the Suez Canal, right? Like the hello? Yes, there is a reciprocal relationship. Yes, it is not to the benefit of the United States to immediately, cut ties with Israel. But genocide's probably not great. Maybe we shouldn't be literally handing them the weapons and the funding for their soldiers and the everything else for it. Hmm? We have control over that. And, I said this months and months and months and months ago. We can pay for Israeli universal health care, but we can't in the United States have universal health care. Make it make sense, friend. Make it make fucking sense. But worse, two, misery. The leftist pro-Palestine movement quickly decided that their primary goal was not merely opposition to the genocide, but opposition to Zionism in general. That is, opposition to the existence of Israel as a Jewish state. And here they decided to draw the line separating decent people from genocidal fascists, which had the following consequences. We're going to just pause right there for a moment. Israel already exists as a state, right? It is primarily Jewish, right? It could exist as a Jewish state in the same way that the United States exists as a white state, in that it exists as a state that, at least on fucking paper, everyone is supposed to have equal rights, right? Clearly, the United States is being run by, dictatorship, essentially, that is trying to very much make this an actual white ethno-state, whatever the fuck that means. And the Ashkenazis, I think, are welcome to come on in for now. But hi, remember the poem that was written about the first Holocaust and about how eventually they'll come for everyone? Y'all are still on the list of everyone. I don't know what to tell you. Like, just because they come for the Transformers first doesn't mean they're not gonna. Dude. But I digress. Yeah, so, no. But the consequences, according to Natalie, let's get into that. It shrunk the coalition. Zionist is a very broad category. Most Jews are Zionist. I think that's fucking bullshit. I think that is some fucking, it's Hasbara, right? Like, I don't know what else to fucking, like, no. No. Are there a lot of Zionist Jews? Sure. You know what else there are? A lot of Zionist Christians. A lot fucking more. And they're the ones who are pushing this death cult bullshit. They're the ones who are putting the majority of the pressure on the United States government to back this shit up. They're the ones who are out here loudly bellyaching about how fucking anti-Semitic it is. Right? Not to say that there are not Jewish people out there belly aching about how anti-Semitic this shit is, but by and large, this is one of those cases where it is fucking white people getting offended for other people. Because, man, do we love to do that shit. I have been guilty of it myself a lot. I was the biggest libby lib in the history of Libtown because I came from an area where the closest you were going to get to reasonable morality was to be a liberal. Um, and to be very clear, I think that leftism is morally corrupt, right? I think that there are different ways to execute these things practically, but I think the general idea of wanting to make sure that other human beings are provided for and taken care of, much in the same way you want to be provided for and taken care of, and that you value other human beings' lives, much in the same way that you would like your life to be valued, regardless of color, creed, religion, country of origin, country of current location, you know, gender, sexual orientation, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to sit here and be like racism is solved or whatever, but certainly looking at all human beings as if they have an inherent value just because they're fucking people who are alive on this planet right now, just like you, right? Like, so, yeah, no. No, I do not believe that most Jews are Zionists. I really, really don't. Because, I'm sorry, man, but like, a really, really, really significant portion of Jewish content creators, comedians, artists, etc., that I have been fan of for years, outside of this as an issue entirely, are very much pro-Palestine. So, no, dude, like, no. The same progressive, reasonable people that I have been listening to any fucking way, uh, because it's like, as with any, oppressed minority, as it were, there's a disproportionate number of us in the arts and in entertainment. It's just, like it is what it is. I've talked about this at length as well. It is why black people have been responsible for music. And like you don't even have to really get into, when you break it down, if looking at music in the United States and in the UK, you are looking at music that originates from fucking black people. It just does. Everything popular from country to rock to just fucking all of it, man. Fucking all of it. You know, and certainly these things have bled out into the greater culture. Um, I like white guy rap as much as the next guy. Fucking I like white Jewish guy rap as much as the next guy. Hello, Beastie Boys, classic. However, brief aside there, it dawned on me how old I am because the song Intergalactic is like on my playlist, and every time it comes on, I like have this little thing in my mind that thinks of that as new Beastie Boys, and that shit came out in like '99 or something. Anyway, uh, yeah. Anyone who supports a two-state solution is a Zionist. Um, I mean, the two-state solution versus one-state solution at this point, like the feasibility of a two-state solution, I think is kind of gone away as there's no infrastructure for Palestine, man. Like, I'm sorry, you blew it all up. You're gonna have to help put some shit back together, home slice. And you're gonna have to incorporate these fucking people into your fucking society and stop being, I don't know, Nazis. Yeah, it's an open air concentration camp where they are killing people by the dozens, hundreds, thousands at a time. Dog, so help me. lay down. I do not have time for this. I hate this dog so much sometimes. Like, seriously, he pisses me off so goddamn much. Anyway, it was politically infeasible. Is that the word, or is it unfeasible? I thought it was unfeasible. I'm not looking it up. Maybe it isn't infeasible. I'm fucking dyslexic as shit. What is the pathway that takes us from the present situation to the dissolution of Israel as a Jewish state? Here's the thing, friend. I don't think that what really those of us who are out here being like, hi, we're anti-Zionist, are really campaigning for at the moment is the dissolution of Israel, like, in its existence. If by Israel as a Jewish state, all they have to do that is allow citizenship for people who aren't Jewish. The end. Nothing else has to fucking change, man. Like, that's step fucking one. And then, certainly there's more to be done. But, like, I mean, honestly, truly, to be, fucking a buck 50 with you right now, we would just really like for them to stop murdering all the fucking babies. We would like to have them stop murdering people standing in line to get a bag of rice. I mean, are we being serious here? Fucking, like, the fantasy land that the Democrats want us to believe is correct is apparently the land in which Natalie Wynn lives. And I'm sorry, that's not reality. I don't see how this could happen without either a total internal collapse of Israeli society or else, nuclear war. It's not at all possible that Israeli society could become more accepting. Like, it's not at all possible to integrate black people into the Jim Crow South without a nuclear war. Do you fucking hear yourself, woman? Do you hear yourself? Yeah, being a leftist is being on the correct side of history. It is being early to being correct. You're correct too soon. Being a liberal is waiting until this shit bashes you over the fucking head and you can't ignore it anymore and then going, oh fuck, they brought it the entire way to my front door, now I have to pay attention. And I mean, to some degree, and I've said that you can't be aware of every topic all the time. There's a lot of shit going on in the world, right? But if you are going to make a pages long declaration about something, you should have some fucking clue of what you're talking about. And clearly she doesn't. As usual, leftists have championed a doomed cause. Yeah, just like all the fucking leftists who were against the Nazis, huh? Dumb. People are all fucking clown shoes. 3. It introduced dangerous ambiguities. The vagueness of Zionism as a political Satan enables all kinds of rhetorical abuses. On the one hand, right-wing Israelis hold up all anti-Zionist protest as existentially threatening and inherently anti-Semitic. On the other hand, there is a long history of anti-Semites using the term Zionist in deliberately equivocal ways, Zog, etc., anti-Semites are happy for the opportunity to misappropriate the now popular anti-Zionist label to legitimize their agenda, and many people are not informed enough about anti-Semitism to recognize when this is happening. These problems are mutually reinforcing. So what you're telling me is that because the right has co-opted something, as they do with all leftist language, hi, welcome to DEI, welcome to woke, welcome to all of the shit that we define a term to try to create understanding among general population of some shit that is going on. And people with bad intentions come in to try to suggest that the word means something else. And it is often the fucking right wing and the fucking Nazis who are doing this. So for you to come in and talk about the right wing in Israel and anti Semites as if this is a different fucking group of people, as if they don't both perpetuate the same brand of anti Semitism, as if one does not depend on the other. The right-wing Zionist Israeli cannot exist without anti-Semitism. If for no anti-Semitism, they have nothing against which to rail. They're just killing brown people for fun at that point. The anti-Semitism is the political shield. You fucking moron. It's just really disappointing. It's really disappointing. Because it's like, I've disagreed with Natalie Wynn on other shit. I've disagreed on her takes on fucking misogyny, and like, I'm not gonna get hot and, I'm not getting fucking heavy in the paint with that shit because it's not my fucking, like, it is my deal, and it's not because I am often still perceived as a woman. I spent most of my life perceived as a woman. I am still very much the, target of and am negatively affected by misogyny on the whole, right? But also, in lots of cases, especially cases online, I am perceived as and treated as a white dude. So, like, misogyny is not necessarily something that I am going to double down on saying that I don't think something is misogynist. If you, as a woman, see it as misogynist, more fucking power to you, right? If you start defending Zionism, it certainly sounds like you see yourself as a Zionist. If you are suggesting that the conflation of the term Zionism with anti Semitism and the weaponization of that by the political right, both here and in Israel, is somehow the problem of reality and, what words mean. Like, I understand linguistic drift, but the fact that the right drags every word into the mud so that nothing is clear, a la 1984, everything is doublespeak. Everything means the opposite of what it actually means. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This was something that included, and, in the places that it is still practiced, still does include fucking veterans' preference for things like employment and school and all of the other places that DEI is implemented. Because there are some people who need a bit of a helping hand because the system is rigged against them. Hi, veterans are among that group. Want to talk about why? Like, the whole, they're abused by the government. They spend years of their life outside of the actual workforce, so they don't, like, get the same work experience. We're rewarding them for volunteering so that there isn't a draft, essentially. A lot of them are real fucked up mentally and or physically. There's lots of, right. So, like, a lot of the same people who are now talking about how fucking awful DEI is and how DEI leads to people who are far less qualified because lesbian, I guess, are the same people who bellyache about how we don't take care of veterans, while also not ever doing anything to pass any of the fucking, legislation that would take care of veterans, but that's a whole other fucking whatever. Um, yeah, so cool. Anytime the right tries to weaponize something against us, we just have to drop that topic forever, let them have it, and move the fuck on. So that's what we're doing about the trans shit. Right, Natalie? You're just gonna go back to using the men's room, and I'm gonna go back to using the women's room, and that's just gonna be chill with you, right? And we can say that these are not the same, and, quite frankly, they're not, in that the genocide is more important than where we piss, right? But you're going to bring up your fucking feelings in this when we get down to the end of this, so I think that the comparison is fair based on the position that you've put out here. As usual, I'm talking to the person who posted this as if she is going to actually fucking watch this. You don't debate for your opponent, you debate for your audience, right? Right. And for the record, this is not a debate channel. I make videos about shit that I find interesting and or important. Um, and yeah, genocide is really bad. And I spent my entire life wondering how the fuck the Nazis just, or the regular citizens in Nazi Germany just like kick back while there was a whole fucking Holocaust happening around them and didn't do anything. And as it turns out, it's because they didn't really know what was going on at the time. It's not like it was being fucking live streamed like the current Holocaust is. So. Back to Natalie's ramblings. Number 3, Dread. The online left has spent the last 20 months distributing, why can't I read, Jesus, hundreds of photos and videos of dead Palestinian children. God, I stuttered over that because that's a horrible thing to read. The main effect of this has been to create a population of people in a constant state of blood-boiling rage with no consequential political outlet. The online left is not the one who has been spreading these pictures, Sweet Pea. It's the Palestinians who are taking and sharing these pictures, these videos, because they don't want to suffer in silence. They want the world to know what is being done to them, while the media fucking whitewashes the whole thing. And you should be experiencing blood boiling rage. There is a genocide going on, and your tax dollars are paying for it. Why aren't you more upset? I fear this may be worse than useless. Anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism are conceptually not the same, and conflating them is dangerous. Then why are you doing that? But in practice, the way Israel is perceived does seep out into attitudes toward Jews in general. Whose fault is that? Is it maybe the fault of the Israeli government for weaponizing that? Is it maybe the fault of our own government for weaponizing that? Is it maybe the fault of people like you for perpetuating that conflation? No, it's the fault of the people who want the baby murder to stop. I don't think Jews who feel isolated and wary in the current atmosphere are simply hysterical or hallucinating. I don't think that anyone who feels isolated and wary in the current atmosphere is fucking like, no, dude. I'm not here saying that there isn't a problem with anti-Semitism in this fucking country, but the problem does not come from the left. Full stop. And the moment that you fucking libs shut the fuck up and aim your fucking ire where it is intended, we might get something done. We are out here on the left trying to convey to people that there is an actual, literal fucking genocide happening. These people are screaming out for fucking help. They are screaming out to the world, begging us for help. And I'm sorry that you get sad at seeing the pictures and videos, but the privilege that you have to close the window and walk away is not one that the people who are sharing those things have. It's their life. So be fucking bummed, but wah, don't share the pictures because it makes me feel bad is a pretty fucking self-centered position, is it not? And this from a man who calls himself self-important. Yes, there is communal trauma and hypervigilance. Yes, there's disingenuous right-wing ghouls dismissing and censoring all criticism of Israel on the pretext of fighting anti-Semitism. But there's also valid fear of historical anti-Semitic patterns reoccurring, and that fear gives power to the right-wing Zionist claim that only Israel can keep Jews safe. Much in the same way that I do not think the widespread Islamophobia in this country, or in Israel, or any other fucking country, should be how we are structuring our political discourse, or how we are structuring our political policies. I don't think that the fear of anti-Semitism should either. I am not here to say that anti-Semitism is not real. I am not here to say that there are not actual, living, breathing, white supremacist Nazis in this very United States of America, in our very government, making decisions right the fuck now. That's not what, right? I'm not saying that there are not people out on the street who are going to yell slurs. I am not saying that there are not people who will commit acts of violence because someone is Jewish, right? These are not claims that I am making. The claim that I am making is allowing Israel and allowing the US government to conflate anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism is allowing them to weaponize their own anti-Semitism in order to use it as a shield to then weaponize their own Islamophobia to talk about Palestinians as if they're not human and, parasites that need to be eradicated, right? I'm supposed to be super duper concerned about the fears of Jewish people in the United States of America about the words that I say that might hurt their feelings more so than I'm supposed to be concerned about the fears of the children who have watched their peers die, who fear dying today themselves. I'm supposed to care about the fucking American adults not in a war zone, fucking Jewish people's fears over, right? Both fears are legitimate. We don't have to have a fucking struggle fight here. However, much in the same way that I am here putting my own fucking fears of how this government is treating transgender people aside for the moment, for this conversation, I think perhaps Jewish people in the United States of America who don't support genocide could as well. I think the problem is the people who are living in fear are Zionists in the way that I mean it, are Zionists in the way that they think that this genocide is good, that they think that this response is proportional and correct, and that the IOF is the most moral army or military or whatever the fuck they. This is the most moral war ever conducted. It's an illegal occupation and a genocide. Israel has existed for 78 fucking years, dude. Like, this is like, what are we doing? There are people who like, yeah. So much in the same way that I am not going to allow the fears that cis women have, right, to dictate how I feel about trans women and the sorts of language I use in calling trans women women, for example, even though that creates a sense of fear, right, among, uh, you know, not statistically insignificant portion of cisgender women. Hello? Are we not seeing how this shit is the same? Can you not fucking prioritize? Can you not put your own fucking needs aside for like 2 fucking minutes? Some shit is more important than you. Some shit is more important than me. Some shit is more important than the individual. The needs of the many, you know? Yeah, literally, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. You are the one. There are many people who are dying. I am but one, and I am here to speak as loudly as I can on my teeny tiny platform for the people who are dying. You know, I speak for my own people as well, and I have done that, and I will continue to do that. But to suggest that I should not also speak out against something that is absolutely horrifying that my fucking tax dollars are paying for is completely bananas fucking cuckoo. And you can take that fucking attitude and shove it right the fuck up your ass. Anyway. Valid fear. Does this mean Israel should not be criticized and sanctioned? Absolutely not. But it's something I don't want to risk contributing to if not outweighed by tangible benefits, so I approach the issue cautiously. You don't think the tangible benefits of, like, not having as many babies murdered, or maybe no babies murdered at all, might be good? You don't think that the shift in, like, there has been a shift in political discourse as of late. People are not getting, black bag quite so quickly. It's not a fast shift. It's not moving at a breakneck pace. No. But, like, hello, genocide, woman, genocide. Are can we get, like, I cannot believe this take is this fucking dumb. Yeah. You want to get into some fucking stereotypical bullshit. You are not beating the fucking stereotype that all fucking trans women are fucking narcissists. Jesus fucking Christ. 4. Bitterness. Much of the online left spent all of 2024 single-mindedly focused on Palestine and the complicity of Democratic politicians in sending aid to Israel. This campaign had the following effects. 1. Zero Palestinian lives were saved. Not one fewer bomb or bullet was fired by the IDF. So we're just supposed to say nothing then? Cool. Cool. We're all just supposed to sit idly by. Awesome. Awesome. Two, it may have slightly contributed to the re-election of Trump, guaranteeing that the U.S. will not put diplomatic pressure on Netanyahu for at least 4 years. I don't think it guarantees that at all. And I don't think that there was any kind of even a hint of a guarantee that had fucking Harris been elected, that we would be in a different situation right now. Because she did not distance herself from Biden's position at fucking all, and he sucked Netanyahu's fucking dick the whole fucking time. So, no. Wrong again, bitch. And making protests against Israel both much riskier and less effective. I don't think less effective. In fact, I think that the riskier the protest, the more effective it will be. Honestly. Because when people are willing to come out when you might get black bagged, it really says something, doesn't it? Might actually make some shit move. So, again, I think you're fucking wrong. Have you seen anything that has ever happened in history ever? Have you looked at a historical civil rights movement of any kind? Have you looked like anything? Have you looked at anything other than your own experience of politics through your own lens through fucking Twitter? Have you looked at anything other than that, Natalie? Because this post would suggest to me that you have not, in which case you should have kept your fucking mouth shut. Clown shoes, garbage, trash. Trump is also, incidentally, a menace to me and basically everyone I care about. Yeah, me too. However, like, same shit, different day, woman. I don't know what to tell you. We don't, like, you cannot be mad at people who were not willing to vote for the piece of shit non-platform that the Democrats put out again and again and again. At some point, you're going to have to blame the fucking Democrats for the shit. At some point, we, as supposed fucking Democratic voters, are going to have to hold these assholes fucking accountable. If we don't hold our own fucking politicians' feet to the fire, of course we're never going to get anything done. And if we blindly vote for these motherfuckers, blue no matter who, which, for the record, I did, in fact, vote for fucking Harris, right? So, I did fucking lesser of two evils fucking bullshit, just the same as I always fucking have, but oh my fucking god, does it not make a fucking difference, right? Like, here the fuck we are. And the genocide was going on the entire time we had that fucking Democratic president, friend. It's not like October 7th came out of nowhere. If we are not willing to examine what caused terrorists to commit a terrorist attack, right? And look at the whole fucking system that is happening there and not look at one fucking act and like you have to look at the bigger picture, dude. Like there's just you have to. There's no fucking way around it. A perfectly enlightened being would feel no bitterness about this, but I do. Listen, man, listen. You can feel bitterness. It's fine, right? Am I annoyed at the people who did not vote for Harris? Honestly, yeah. Like, I don't think, but like, it's not their fucking fault that the Dems can't fucking Dem. You know what I mean? Like, bruh. I just, yeah. None of this is the fault of Palestinians, of course, who are overwhelmingly the victims here. You think? I hope that someday American policy will shift in their favor, and I will continue to support their cause. How? Donating some money? That's. But what you say publicly, influencer, is this. Your words are this. Your monetary support behind the scenes, which now you're calling out, right? Your monetary support is supposedly going to this shit. You know, we're back to the Ethan Klein, I donated $6,000 to a Palestinian charity. Now I get to be as genocide fucking supporting as I want to be. Awesome. Same fucking cloth, dude. TLDR. I see the situation as bleak, intractable, extremely divisive, and devoid of any element that could be appropriately transformed into political entertainment. That's why I haven't made a video about it. Hopefully it goes without saying these are just my thoughts. I'm sure other bread tubers have different opinions. Sure as fucking shit they do, bitch. Sure as fucking shit. Like, oh my god. And then, oh shit, can I find the, um, responding to someone, yeah, Chime, this is pointed out, it's like they're determined to enact the problem claiming doesn't exist, and it's not for them. Well, I imagine it wasn't for me, but here the fuck I am. Yeah. No. No, no, 1,000 times no. I'm tired of this lib fucking bullshit, and I will call it out regardless of who it's from. I do not care about how closely aligned with me politically you are, otherwise. I do not care if you are a content creator I have watched forever. I do not care what fucking religion is. I don't fucking care. I just don't. It's totally fucking inconsequential to the point at hand. And the point at hand is, oh my god, shut the fuck up. If all you have to say is bow down and let the right fucking co-opt the fucking language and don't protest shit that can't change next week, then I'm gonna need you to go to the men's room, lady. Because I'm gonna need you to take this same stance on your own shit. Because otherwise, you're a fucking hypocrite and a shitty fucking person. Which I think is where we're at. Yeah. All this is a fucking wah wah, I'm a liberal Zionist, wah, stop saying bad things about me, wah wah post. Fuck off. Like, simple as, this is bullshit, and I hate every bit of it, and this is yet another occasion where I have a creator that I have been like, oh, this is a person you watch that'll give you reasonable takes, and blah, 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 and like have recommended, that I then have to go back and be like, addendum, hey, maybe, the Anita Bryant video is probably good, but I don't know if you should listen to anything this woman has to say about anything religion-based, you know, that doesn't directly involve trans or queer shit. Yeah. Trans and queer shit in the West. I think that's about all I'm comfortable recommending as far as Natalie's political stances at this point, because this shit is just fucking, it's fucking sad, is what it is, but yeah. At any rate, please, God, someone comment. Um, yeah, I don't imagine that this is going to make its way to Ms. ContraPoints, but if it does, hey, hi, how's it going? Welcome. I'm pretty fucking pissy, but, hopefully you take the criticism constructively. and understand that I'm just a guy who likes to bitch on the internet. But otherwise, if you've gotten this far and been even slightly entertained, please like and or subscribe. Um, Comment a duck emoji, because quack. And yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. I love you. Be safe. Make good choices.